to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I am Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good of marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, don't hold that against me. We'll just call that icing on the cake. Now, the mission at Marketing Pulpit Show is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. So if you ever find yourself in a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, just turn on the Marketing Pulpit Show because we're on a mission. The show is broadcast live from the illustrious Radio 1 studio. Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. Not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, trying to save our community. I mean, it's a big task. We need financial underpinning. We need to create these businesses. We need to create these jobs and become a sustainable financial force. And we can do that by building successful businesses, not just any business. We need to build successful businesses. And in order to do that, you must engage in a successful marketing effort. And that's why I'm here, to show you how to do it. We've been doing this now for the past 14 years. And I'm happy to engage in this because it's part of my mission. It's part of what I do. It's my purpose, my reason for being, as the French say, my raison d'etre. And I'm happy to do it. And you find your lane, find your purpose, and make it happen, especially when you're trying to start a business. Because when you have an underpinning of a purpose and a mission, something that you believe in, it's just a matter of time before success is yours. I'm Robert Gatewood. I'm a business developer by trade. I've been doing this now since Chet was a puppy. My dad was actually a small business owner himself. I worked in the grocery store when I was about 8 years old. I'm also the son of a sharecropper. And so I did this out of necessity. And I think as a community, we may have to get back to that at some point, the way things are going, that when you have to do it, when you have no other choice, sometimes you're not always aware of what powers you have within you. I have a company, Gatewood Marketing and Web. I also teach marketing at the Prince George's Community College in the DC area. Been doing that for the past 25 years. I've written a couple of books. I dabble in the government space with the Small Business Administration as an IT consultant. And I've been doing this as part of my mission, along with this show. Welcome to the new listeners, people tuning in for the first time. Welcome to the show. You can find out more about the show by going to marketingpulpit.com. And you can also listen to past shows. And the show that we're broadcasting this morning is actually broadcasting on the homepage, in case you can't find us on social media, which shouldn't be hard because we are at Marketing Pulpit on all platforms, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook Live. You can find us on social media. We have an exciting show today, and people are still in their feelings about this past election that happened on November 5th. So much so that people are giving each other the side eye. Some people feel so betrayed. I mean, they're looking at their phones when the phone rings, and I'm not going to answer that. They're looking at their coworkers and their family members out of the side of their eyes. And some have gone as far as saying, you are uninvited to the Thanksgiving dinner. That's pretty serious. You mean no turkey, dressing, sweet potato pie? That's when you know it's serious. We're going to talk about that today. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you some help. I mean, this is affecting my stakeholders, my clients. I can't pick up the phone and take care of their marketing issues because they're so busy wanting to talk about who they're giving the side eye to and who's not coming to the Thanksgiving dinner. So I'm going to help you through this today. So you want to stick around for that. If you haven't already, go to Marketing Pulpit, business director at mpi.bz. We've been doing that now for a few years. Very thriving community. You can find many suppliers that you're looking for, and you want to get your name in that directory. We have sponsors like D-Live Scan, Fingerprints, Passports, and Notary Services. We have people like Attorney Bradley Thomas. We have BLE Executive Suites with their 3 locations in the Washington, D.C. area. Mr. Gerald Brown and Eternity Plumbing. And you can find all of those at the mpi.bz. We're going to jump right in today. I want to jump right in because this issue is really burning. Got a lot of people talking. And I want to say good morning to Brother Brown. Thank you for tuning in this morning. And if you're online, if you want to jump into the conversation, or if you want to drop in a comment, just go to, just drop a comment in the feed and I will engage you online. If you want to promote your business, I'll be happy to give you a shout out for that as well. I can't see you until you pop a comment in. So once I see you, I will acknowledge you. Let's talk about, we're going to jump right into the news and get things moving here, because news actually, sometimes it sets the tone of what we're going to talk about. We have to keep things in context and realize we don't live in a vacuum. Things that happen in the news affect our businesses, and in many cases, it affects us personally. So a couple of quick news story. Bitcoin passes $90,000 a share for the first time. Now you're saying, you said, wait a minute, one share, $90,000? Well, most people are buying fractional shares. They're not buying an entire share. So they may buy a fraction of a share. Whatever that fraction is, of course, it's a fraction of that $90,000. It's down to about 83, I think, this morning, but it has surpassed 80,000 on Monday for the first time. And people are saying it's following the election of the former president. So, boy, you're talking about the embodiment of ambivalence. If ambivalence was a word, here it is. I mean, if ambivalent was a person in an event, then here it is. New York City has revived its congestion pricing. So if you ever need a reason not to go to New York City, another reason, then this may be it, because to get into Manhattan, New York, you have to pay like $15 toll at certain times of the day. That happened a few years ago, and it has been revived. Now it's only $9. So there's such a thing as a congestion pricing, and you may start seeing more of that with other cities as we start experiencing more congestion in our inner cities. Here's a story from the file of for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Blue Sky, which is a social media platform started by Jack Dorsey, who was the former founder of Twitter. Well, he left Twitter, and we see what happened after Twitter. He started his own platform, and he has gained $1 million, 1 million new subscriptions in the last 24 hours. He's up to about 15 million subscribers right now. And many of the people that are joining the platform are abandoning the platform X, which of course is owned by Elon Musk. And people are saying that it has become like a platform for hate and other types of negative speech. All right, let's jump into it. I'm going to jump into our sermon right now. I think we don't need to belabor the point any longer. So you may be really disappointed by the actions of some of your close relations. It could be a family member, co-worker, could be a friend, could be your boss, your staff, your clients, your vendors, suppliers. You saying, how could they? How could they make such a move? Now, some people think it's an overreaction. They think, well, come on, that's only politics. You can't uninvite somebody from the Thanksgiving dinner table just because they didn't vote the same way you voted. But others say it's a little deeper than politics. Some say it actually exposes a moral flaw, a lack of character, and a careless disregard for the feelings and well-being of others. Some actually see it as a personal attack on their families, their lives, and their livelihood. So to them, it's more than just you voted for this way, I voted for that way. Let's go ahead and kiss and make up and carry on. Okay, so to some, that overreaction might take the form of uninviting them to the Thanksgiving dinner. And some people say that's not even enough. They should be banned for life. Well, I think it's a little more nuanced than that, to be quite honest with you. I'm not a big fan of broad brushing any group of people, because sometimes you got to figure out, you got to get down and realize that even though people may have taken a similar action, their reasons for doing so may not be the same. So I'm going to help you out here today. I'm going to put on my counselor cap. I'm going to help you get through this. Because I know some of you haven't gotten out of bed yet. You're looking side-eyed at your family members and co-workers. You're scratching people's name off the Thanksgiving dinner list. Well, let me help you get through this, because I'm going to break down the various relationships into categories and provide some Thanksgiving dinner recommendations for each group. So you may discover that you don't have to uninvite everybody based on their actions following this past election. So let me give you the first group. Okay, about to get serious. Should put on my white coat this morning. Okay, the first group I'm going to call the salvageable group. In other words, they're not unredeemable. There's hope. Because there are three categories in this group I want you to be aware of before you take them totally off your Thanksgiving list. The first group I call the uninformed. They sincerely lack a full understanding of the issues, and they're not aware of the repercussions of their actions. They really just didn't know any better. They didn't have all the information. They could have had misinformation. They were just plain old uninformed. That's the first group in that section. The second one is the gullible. There are a certain number of people in our society that are easily swayed and convinced by influential and powerful people and institutions. They're just downright gullible. They'll fall for it. They're not quite as tough and astute as you are. Okay? And then the third one in this particular group is the naive. They just believe there's some good in everybody. It's like no matter what you do, they're willing to brush it off and say, well, they didn't mean it. They didn't understand what was going on. I'm going to give them a second chance. So the first group, the uninformed, the gullible, and the naive. Now, this group, believe it or not, may be deserving of your sympathy rather than your scorn. They're not as enlightened and astute as you are. They're not as well read. Some are gullible, some are naive. Some just didn't have the information. They didn't realize the outcome of their actions. So, and many of them are already feeling buyer's remorse. They're getting the information after the fact. They're hearing the news stories. They're seeing some of the actions that have already taken place, and they wish they could do a do-over. That doesn't excuse them, but if they have repented and seem sincere, I'm going to give you permission to re-invite them to your Thanksgiving dinner. I know you scratched them off. You went down that list with a red pencil and scratched off everybody who didn't see things your way. You can re-invite them, but with a caveat. You make them sit at the kiddie table. Okay? Let them back in. There's a second group. Now this group I'm going to call the questionable. And there's 3 segments in this group. The first one is the insecure. The people in this group possess low self-esteem. They follow the leader. And they're looking to fit in with the dominant group. That doesn't excuse them, but I'm just saying. Sometimes they're not sure of themselves. Sometimes there's some self-hating going on. They're questionable. I'm not ready to throw them into the dustbin yet, but hang on. There's some others in this group. There's the apathetic. They're that mindset of what will be, will be. This ain't my problem. And they did not exercise their rights or the power that they have. They don't realize they have the ability to affect change. They just don't give a hoot. That's the apathetic. They fall in this questionable group. There's a third bunch in this group. I call them the conspiracy theorists. They are the overly analytical know-it-all. They went out here on the internet and found some information, and they feel duty-bound to enlighten the world on this new information they received. They also feel like they're bucking the system. Nobody's going to tell them what to do. So these 3 segments fall into the questionable category. So I'm helping you out here. I'm trying to help you out here, so you can get some rest. Stop scratching people off your list who don't deserve to be scratched off, so we can move on. Because we still got to live in this world. I'm trying to help you out here. Now, this group is going to need some time. At some point, you will be able to engage in dialogue with them, but maybe not just yet. If you invite them to the Thanksgiving dinner, they'll come, but sooner or later, the conversation is going to turn to something you don't want to talk about. It's going to get heated. So this group might be redeemable. They may be able to come over, but with Thanksgiving just a couple of weeks away, you might not be able to reconcile in time for Thanksgiving dinner. But I'm saying you don't want to throw them onto the dustbin of neverness. That's my second group. My third group, and we're talking about today why and how we can get past this feeling of betrayal. You're giving people the side eye. You're scratching people off your Thanksgiving list because of a vote they made a couple of weeks ago. I'm saying you can't use a broad brush on everybody. Now, some people are going to disagree with me, but I'm trying to help you move on. Some people are stuck. They don't know what to do. So I'm going to throw myself on the grenade and try to help you out here. Cutting people off your Thanksgiving list. Some people are being denied turkey and dressing. That's a serious matter. Anyway, let me get to my third group. The third group is the intractable. This is a tough group here. I know this group. I have at least one in my family. Now, in the intractable, we have 2 categories. The one I'm going to call the zealot. This person is a fanatical devotee to a doctrine, a party, religion, or other. And they would demonize, just downright demonize anyone who disagrees with them. There is no middle ground. These are some very difficult people. Also in this group, I launched in this group. I was trying to decide if this person belonged in this group or the questionable group, but I went ahead and put them in this intractable group. And this is the self-absorbed. concerned only about their own welfare, their own prosperity, their own financial gain, even though they realize that their actions is harming others. They just don't give a hoot. If they make a few extra bucks, as long as it doesn't affect them, even if they know that it's hurting other people. I put them in this last group called the intractable. For better or worse, this group is unredeemable. Whether they are right or wrong in their beliefs, their dogmatic intransigence makes them unsuitable guests for your Thanksgiving dinner. It's just not going to happen. You're going to do yourself a favor by leaving them off the list. Now, I was trying to give some grace and saying everybody doesn't need to be scratched off your list. But this bunch, you might take a magic marker. Well, let me close with this. And I know some people saying, Gatewood, who died and made you king? Nobody. I'm just here to help today, okay? Am I a therapist? Well, I am a counselor. I don't talk about it, but I do have a certificate in my wallet. So I'm trying to help us get through this. And we can't paint everybody with a broad brush. It's just not fair to them, and it's not fair to you. You may be experiencing a cognitive dissonance. You may be ambivalent. You're simultaneously attracted and repulsed at the same time by some people in your life. I'm trying to help you get through this. Some people you shouldn't discard. They may have been conned. They may have had misinformation. They could be naive. They're just not as sharp or well read as you are. Some people, they lack security. They're trying to fit in. Some are just apathetic. Something happened in their life where they don't give a hoot about anything. And some are really think they're trying to help you and the community, but they don't have the right information, or they're going about it the wrong way. And then we have those who are just downright unredeemable. They're going to come to that Thanksgiving dinner trying to convince you that you made a mistake, that you're on the wrong track. And you don't need that when you're trying to eat some delicious turkey and dressing. I know I don't. So I'm going to close with this. Even the most unreformable people can change. Now, unfortunately, sometimes it takes some type of near-death experience or some type of catastrophic loss in order for them to change. And I don't wish that on anybody. You are what you are. They are who they are. But you don't have to eat Thanksgiving dinner with them. What you might do, though, if those people that I listened in that last group, the intractable, if they're important to you and it's keeping you awake nights because you say, I really did like that person. We have a history. Their children go to school with my children. We work their cubicle is next to mine. That's my cousin. Used to be my BFF. But something went wrong. I'm going to say this. If that relationship is really important to you, go ahead and put the turkey and the dressing in the freezer and keep hope alive. Well, folks, that's going to wrap it up for today. I'm Robert Gatewood. This is the Marketing Pulpit. If you missed the beginning of this segment, you can go back and replay it. Feel free to share it with others. I'm here every Friday on the Marketing Pulpit. I'm a business developer. I have a business show. I'm trying to build strong businesses in our community to put people to work. But every now and then, I have to put on the white coat and work on mindset, work on attitude. We don't live in a vacuum. We can't ignore these things, especially when it's affecting my clients. I can't pick up the darn phone without somebody telling me who they're uninviting from Thanksgiving dinner. So if it affects my clients, it affects me. And we're going to talk about it. Okay? All right, folks. Don't forget to join the Marketing Pulpit Business Directory. Go to mpi.bz and follow me. Go to YouTube at Marketing Pulpit and follow this show. Go to Facebook at Marketing Pulpit and follow this show. Go to Instagram at Marketing Pulpit and follow this show. Go to Robert L. Gatewood on LinkedIn and follow him, because we're going to bring it. I'm going to bring it. Okay. I'm going to talk about the things that are affecting you, that are affecting my clients. We need to talk about it. Okay. And I want to thank Mr. Brown, who's helping me out here. And Platinum, thank you again. She says, we do not live in a vacuum. And she also says that third group sounds like my way or the highway. Well, you're right there, Platinum. And Mr. Brown, thank you again for helping close out the show. As I say every week, if you want to be successful, you have to do these three things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work.